The real material that I need to work for here is the Blood of Chthon. Most Chthonian heroes have about a 4% chance to drop one, and the bosses have an average of about a 20% drop chance. There are quite a few places that seem like decent spots to farm Blood of Chthons, and the sticky guide to farming materials on the forums doesn't have much info on what the most efficient method is, so I decided to do each spot 10 times and document which ones have been my favorite. Remember that all of the drops I'm about to talk about here are based upon RNG, so I could have either gotten super lucky or super unlucky with these, so take them with a grain of salt, but I think this will give you a good idea of how efficient and how each run feels. Ligerian runs have 3 guaranteed bosses, including Ligerian himself. Both of the normal bosses have about a 25% chance to drop Blood of Chthon, and I'm not sure what the drop rate for Ligerian is, since the database says that his troves can drop Blood of Chthon, but it doesn't say what the chances are exactly. I believe that out of the 10 runs and 8 blood drops, only 2 have dropped from the troves upon killing Ligerian. Most drops were from the bosses along the way, but I also did encounter the Chthonian Nemesis mob about 4 times, which may really sully these results. Overall, at around 6 minutes each run, this doesn't seem super efficient for blood, but I did get 12 legendary drops, so it may be worth your time for that. Darkvale Gate is a 2-part dungeon with a guaranteed boss at the end and a few hero spawns on the way. I didn't really like Darkvale Gate at all. I only got 4 blood drops and 4 legendaries from 10 runs, which is half the amount of blood as I've gotten from Ligerian runs, and around almost the same time average at about 5 minutes each run. I understand that all of this is RNG, but it does make sense that Darkvale Gate isn't a good farming spot with its length and a lack of multiple bosses. I put the Plains of Strife and the Bloodgrove Rifts in the same category, since they both play similar roles as random portals that have a guaranteed boss and a ton of chthonic monsters to kill along the way. I ran both of these 10 times and I'm counting both areas in this as one segment. Running both of these has gained me 8 bloods of Chthon and 13 legendaries, which has been a decent amount. The thing that sucks about this is the randomness. The time spent on each run is really dependent on how fast you can find the portal, where you spawn in, and for Bloodgrove where the boss spawns and where the exit portal spawns. The Plains of Strife Rift sucks to find because you're going to be fighting ethereals along the way, which won't be giving you any blood, but once you get there, it's a very quick run to the boss with guaranteed spawn area and many heroes to fight along the way for some good loot. The Bloodgrove seem to be much easier to find, and during the finding stage, you can fight some Chthonian heroes as well as a guaranteed boss spawn randomly in the area. But once you get into the rift, the boss spawns in a random area and the portal out also spawns in a random area, so it can be pretty tough if you happen to be unlucky with the placements. This has been the highest legendary net for me, but I believe that this is just because of the amount of things that I've killed while trying to find the rifts. The Deprived Sanctuary only has 1 guaranteed boss, but it is super quick to farm, taking 30 seconds to get there from the Burwitch Outskirts portal and only 2 minutes to complete. You'll meet a few heroes along the way, but mostly you'll be getting the blood from the boss at the end of the dungeon. Completing this 10 times has netted me 4 bloods of Chthon, which is time efficient when you compare it to other farming methods, because it only took me about like 2 minutes per run, but I've only gotten 2 legendaries, so I don't recommend this method if you're also trying to farm for legendaries as well. The Edge of Void farming route involves going through the chthonic areas in the Ashes of Malmouth DLC, and is the most advanced of the lot, with the mobs being much stronger, the length of the run, and an almost guaranteed chance of facing the Nemesis in the area, which is much stronger than the base game's Nemesis. You start this by taking the Barrowholm portal and then running north into the Chthonic Rift. You then go through the rift, killing any heroes that you see as usual until you hit the Edge of Void, get to the boss, defeat him, and then keep on going until you get to the exit. Upon exiting, you'll just continue north up to Morndale and search the cultist camps until you find another Chthonic Rift that'll be randomly spawned. You'll randomly spawn inside a small void area, so search it for the Visage of Darkness boss. Upon killing the boss, go to the middle of the area and there will be another rift with a guaranteed spawn point. Make sure you don't take any other rift that's not in the middle because those are exits, and you'll spawn in another small void area with a third boss at the end. This run has 3 guaranteed bosses and a bunch of heroes to kill on the way, so it's actually unlucky for you to not get at least 1 Blood of Chthon per run. You also have an almost guaranteed chance of encountering the Ashes of Malmuth's Nemesis boss, since you're going through most of the places that it can possibly spawn, which can be nice if your build can handle it, but it is a lot stronger than the base game's Nemesis. Another thing you can encounter very often in this is treasure troves, as the Void areas and the Morndale area both have a treasure trove, and if you happen to walk upon it as you're trying to find the rifts or going through the rifts, that can be a nice little extra find for you right there. After doing this run 10 times, I found myself with 9 bloods and 15 legendaries, which has been pretty good, but the downside of this route is that it takes over 10 minutes per run, and it requires a strong build, and it requires the Ashes of Malmuth DLC. So in the end, I've decided that the 2 main routes I'm going to be farming is Ligerian, if I want a longer, more thought-provoking run with good legendary drops, and Deprived Sanctuary when I just want to spam out a relaxing and easy method to get some quick blood. All of these methods seem alright except for maybe the Darkvale Gate, and there's probably a lot of areas that I haven't crossed my mind yet. Also, don't forget that all of these drop rates are based off of RNG, so take it with a grain of salt, but hopefully this can give us a good idea of how efficient each route is. I ended up making this video with 55 Bloods of Cthana at the end, so I'm halfway there to my first dungeon. I'm going to start with the Steps of Torment since it is the easiest and first dungeon introduced, then move on to the other ones after farming even more Blood of Cthana. It's going to be a fun journey with a long grind, and I hope this video helped you guys with your farming as well. So thank you for watching, I really do appreciate it, and I will see you next time.